Hello, everyone. I hope you had a restful and productive reading week. I misplaced myself on the notice that I gave a few weeks back. I meant to say that I would be putting something on for October 29th, which is now. I wasn't going to give you any more during your reading week. First of all, I just wanted to check in with all of you about the book that your first assigned book, which is The Preaching Life by Barbara Brown Taylor. The Preaching Life is a wonderful series of heavily edited, heavily redacted sermons by the author. It's a very lovely read. I have a condition that has affected my eyesight and can't read a lot, especially in printed form, and found this book to be just wonderful to go through. And what I'm asking you to do with that right now is that when we have our Bright Space discussions in the coming week, I would like you to say a few words and share with one another about what you're finding in the book, what intrigues you, what you feel you may have learned, and what questions are starting to come to your mind around these reflections, which is what any sermon is a reflection. And share that and get some conversation going there. I do keep track of that and who's putting in notices and encouraging others to respond and to converse. The other thing I wanted you to do, and I'm hoping you'll do shortly, is we're going to be moving into a section of this program called Pastoral Assessment. And this is probably the meatiest part of the whole process we're going through. And pastoral assessment is something that a lot of people do very spontaneously. I found that when I had 2 services a week and sermons to write and 5 funerals and a wedding, and I did have weeks like that, that it's a good idea to have some kind of benchmark or some kind of schema to follow. I call it a rubric in the course outline. And we're going to look at that. But what I would like you to do is share some of your recent pastoral challenges, of course, keeping rules of confidentiality in mind. And share those encounters and how you fit into them, how you interacted within those moments, sometimes those whole days of the pastoral engagement. It's a time-consuming process. If we do it well, we don't look like we're trying very hard. Remember C.S. Lewis writing in one of his books that as an academic, he found that one of the greatest challenges is to have to work very, very hard and never look like it. Soren Kierkegaard, the 19th century philosopher, used to go and let himself be seen checking in at the opera. And he would buy his ticket and take his seats, and when the lights went down, he would quietly leave and go home and work. I guess he went to a lot of Wagnerian operas because he would get his work done, and then before the opera was finished, he would go back and be in his seat when the lights came up again. People thought it was wonderful that he could do so much work, and yet he had time for the opera. Also, how those challenges have affected you personally. It is, of course, a rule of thumb that the problems that we engage with are not our problems, but it can wear on us and it can stay with us sometimes for years. A lot of disturbing things happen in the pastoral life. So talk about that a little bit, share your pastoral encounters, and at the same time, I would like to hear from you about how you go about doing a pastoral engagement, how you figure out what you're doing, what you are looking for, what you hear, remembering to ask the questions that need to be asked. And I'm sure that for many of you, it's a wonderful, spontaneous talent, but there's something going on there. And I'm looking for intentionality. Reflect on your spontaneity and tell us what kinds of patterns you see emerging. So that's all for this week. I'm going to be posting on Brightspace. I'm checking in and out. We'll share with you that my wife is in hospital. She's fine, but she's going to be in for a couple of weeks. So I'm not going to be as available as I sometimes have been. and I hope to be hearing from you soon. Bye for now.